The way this movie course corrected, I feel like it's going to go down in history. The improvement from the first movie to this one is literally night and day. Hello, my name is Joseph and welcome to the Chill Out Zone. And today I'm going to be answering whether you should watch the Mortal Kombat 2 movie or not. So let's get right into it. This movie was everything the first one should have been. The creators of this film managed to do something that is rarely done in cinema, and that is listen to what the audience actually wants and deliver it. So to answer the big question, should you watch this movie? Honestly, I would say you should. If you're gonna watch this movie, you shouldn't be expecting amazing character arcs. You shouldn't be expecting very complex plot points. Like, that's not what you're gonna get from a Mortal Kombat movie. It's a fighting game, and so you should be here for the fights. First of all, there was actually a Mortal Kombat tournament, which sounds crazy, but there actually wasn't one in the first movie. Not only did this film cover the events of the tournament, but they managed to do it in a way that paid homage to the actual video games. For example, there was this one scene, and if you decide to watch the movie, you will understand what scene I'm talking about. But with this one scene in the actual tournament that when I saw it, I was like, no way, they're actually doing it the way they do it in the games. And I was so impressed at how they managed to incorporate the game mechanics into a movie, and they did it in a way that actually makes sense. Another thing that I like about this movie is that they managed to incorporate characters who weren't in the tournament in this movie, and they still managed to give them things to do around and in between the tournament. This isn't a spoiler because it was in the trailer, but they brought back Kano, which, let's be real, he was one of the best things of the first movie. I was really impressed watching this movie because as an audience member, I felt like I was heard. Like, for example, they fixed the main character problem that they had in the first movie. So if you haven't watched the first movie, the main character was this original character created for that movie, and I don't understand why they chose to do that. But luckily in this movie, the protagonist and the main character of this movie is actually a fighter of the games. And honestly, he was a much better protagonist compared to the first one in the first movie. Now, this is a sequel, so the main character in the first movie is in this film. However, they put him to the side where he's meant to be. They understand that he is not really that interesting. The audience didn't really take to him, so they moved him to the side, and what they decided to do with him made so much sense. Again, when you watch the movie, you will understand. But again, well done to the creators for doing what needed to be done. When watching the movie, it was clear to see that the filmmakers understood what made the game so compelling. And not only that, but it actually gave the audience everything that we wanted in the format of a movie. This film didn't take itself too seriously. It understood what type of game it was, and it gave us what we needed. It was a fighting game, and so the people who wanted to watch this movie are people who wanted to see the fights, people who wanted to see the gruesome fatalities. Like, that is what we came to watch, and it delivered. We weren't too interested about the backstory of the characters. We weren't too interested in the plot, and so I really like how the plot was very thin. There wasn't a big plot, there wasn't an intricate one, and it didn't need to be. And the same thing goes for the backstory of all of the characters. We didn't need to know all that happened in the past life. We didn't really need to see any major character development. Like, just give us the fights and we're gonna be good. And speaking on the fights, the action scenes were actually really good. Like, I really enjoyed them. And again, I loved how they played into the game-like graphics as well. Like, the over-the-top blood scenes, again, the fatalities were amazing, and that's exactly what we needed to see. Now, don't get me wrong, there were some fight scenes that were definitely weaker than others, but honestly, that's to be expected. I'm not really too mad about that. When you watch this movie, you will definitely see the difference in abilities between the characters, but again, that's fine. The way this movie course corrected, I feel like it's going to go down in history. The improvement from the first movie to this one is literally night and day. And this is not something that we often see. Usually the first movie is a banger, if it is a banger, and then the second movie tries to give us what the first movie did, but it never really lives up to the expectation. But this movie drastically expands and drastically improves on the first one. Now, to be fair, again, The bar was definitely low, but they managed to do everything that we wanted it to do. This is a sequel, but I genuinely think that you could watch this movie without watching the first one. Yes, the characters in the first movie are in this movie, but any backstory that you may need to know is actually seen in this movie. All of the relevant flashbacks are actually in this movie. This movie isn't perfect, don't get me wrong. There are some aspects of this movie that made it a bit weak, but considering that they delivered on the main points that they should have delivered on, the negatives were very minor. For instance, I feel like some of the plot points didn't really make sense. For example, there were some things that happened in the plot that really shouldn't have happened, and it was kind of clear to see that they only happened to further the plot. But again, it was very minor, and honestly, it didn't really take away from the movie. If you decide to watch this movie, you should definitely have expectations that are in tune with the game. And so if you love the Mortal Kombat games, then you're definitely going to love this movie. But yeah, let me know if you're going to watch this movie. Let me also know if you already have watched the movie and what did you think of it. Check out my other videos as well, and make sure you like, comment and subscribe for other reviews and similar topics that I'm going to be posting on this channel. Peace out.